it did strike me as a bit odd. So, with that being said, draw the white Protoss here on Moonglaive is 2-0 in the lead over our Russian finalist Djem5 in the brown trunks, and the map is the Moonglaive. So Moonglaive, quite an interesting map actually.
And a difficult one to play, I think, because there are a few weird entrances to your natural. You have one wide gap and then a smaller one.
Yeah, I played a game on it today. This is a friend of mine that played Zerg, and I messed up my wall so horribly.
Well, Protoss vs. Protoss probably doesn't have those kind of problems, but
No.
it is still something that can sneak. Like, for example, if we look at, let's say, Draw's natural, the way it's layout, let's say that you have a cannon to defend from a DT coming up, then you have to defend both entrances to the natural. That could be something to be used eventually, but we'll see if that's the case, because...
I mean, it gives you also a different angle to move your army out when you're being contained, so
yeah,
it's quite an interesting feature. And then, in comparison, the middle of the map is quite wide open. There's just this middle plateau going on, but everything else open space. So yeah.
And flat as well. So yeah.
Unluckily, those terrain features not the most important in PvP. Buildable terrain and stuff.
Yeah, especially because normally in PvP, especially in the later game, you don't really want to be staying on Dragoon heavy armies. You want to have maybe Zealot Archon things. Kind of, they work a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, ideally at the late game you go first for the Zealot Archon High Templar army, and if it gets even grindier than that, you can also add Dark Templars or even Dark Archons to feedback your opponent's High Templars. Can be a move as well.
Yeah,
but
although
very far away from that.
Yeah, and also it's not something common because you usually will have your High Templars as well, so it's difficult to know if it's better to try to feedback your opponent's High Templars or storm yourself faster. It's something that Korean pro players tend to do, but I don't think we see that very often in foreign games.
Yeah, I mean, a very few amounts of foreign games go that far, and you have to get some practice in with that army composition as well. But yeah, I think it's a thing you need to practice if you want to pull it off. So here in this game, Djem5 is again going with his Goon first build into second gateway, into I'm being pylon blocked here.
Yeah.
Just glitches one probe out. I mean, that's the thing you can do if you don't know that. If it happens to you as a Protoss player, you can group the probes up and send them to mine, and then use the stop command to glitch all but one probe out if you're being mana pylon. And Draw, in the meantime, he's got two Zealots here. Before the Dragoon, and now he's going for the Citadel, after killing the scouting probe by Djem.
And a second gateway as well.
Yes, I mean, that's a thing you, I mean, oftentimes do. Because why would you get just one Dark Templar out? Two is better, right?
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, you usually start the gateway as your Citadel is about to finish, so that it kind of times well, so you can put two DTs.
Yeah,
although
you can do that. Or you can do it this way to squeeze an additional unit out of the second gateway.
Yeah.
Perhaps, if you feel that you might need that for defense.
Also, I think that the reason why, maybe just the time that it takes for extra time until you kill the probe, but you still have enough resources to add the second gateway.
So Djem5 is going for relatively early Robo here. By the 440 mark. I think that's about when he started it. And that's, of course, due to the fact that his scout probe was killed by Draw's Zealot quite early.
I'm trying to think right now if there's anything, because one of the things that is very interesting for me is when you go DTs, there's two ways I think to play it. One way is you make units after the DTs very heavily, and if your opponent gets the obs but just slightly late and you kill a few of his units, then you basically kill him right there with the rest of your army. That's one way. And the other way that I remember is you can go for an expansion and then you basically go... Okay, 2 more gateways, so I guess that answers that question. But the other option would be to take an expansion and get Storm and High Templars very early, because you can even go something like Forge and Storm, since High Templars are very gas heavy, but they're very light on minerals.
And the first 2 Dark Templars are out now for draw.
Okay,
the observatory is done for Djem, and he starts his first observer, and I think this observer will be out in time. So, interesting to see what happens here. I mean, draw will probably just going to check the ramp and then make sure that he doesn't lose those Dark Templars. Yeah, there, you see it. 1 Dark Templar stops and he's checking the ramp. He notices there's no observer. Just working on the goons, sees if any gets in. Now the observer's out and 2nd Dark Templar. Oh, the first one gets away too. That's great. It's a good move. Now, thing is, Djem can't really move out yet to do anything.
Yeah.
If he assumes that draw is, for instance, like you said, continuing with an expansion here, because he lacks a 2nd observer. And when he gets a 2nd observer, he still has to leave some units back to defend the DTs that are still on the map. He's deciding to stay passive for now, seeing the amount of units with his observer. I think that's a good call, because now this will be a clue. If you pays notice to that, there's a lot of units actually coming across the map. Sees them all with the observer, and it's too much for instance, 2 gateways. So, and yeah, now draw is going for it. Djem5 going for the expansion himself, has to retreat here up the ramp.
And I think that can be game, because there's a... Okay, no, he's not going to go up. He's just going to cancel the expansion and then go back, because I think he... Well, no, maybe not. It was risky. It was a risky call, because the Zealot would tank a few hits, so it could try to go up to tank hits.
I don't know. I don't think he could have done that. I mean, even without the Reaver popping. And so I think what you mentioned first is quite interesting here. Djem did expect draw to go for the, Nexus after DT. And when you are in the game in his position, I mean, you take no damage from the DT, just losing 1 goon. And you get your 2nd observer out, what do? You move across the map to punish his expansion while you can, right? But that's not what draw did. And so you either do that, excuse me, or you expand yourself. And so he went for an expansion himself, but he wasn't right in the first place about draw's follow-up. Now that he knows, it's a different story. And he's being quite passive here with the Reavers. I think draw hoped to overrun him at this point.
Yeah, I think so too. It's kind of makes sense. I mean, he went for 4 gates after DT, which means you first get tech, so you're not making too many units, you're spending your money on tech, and then you spend an extra amount of money to try to make more units. So it's obvious that it takes time to get something good, but I understand the idea behind it, just I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, it's obviously not synergetic or anything. Yeah. It's just a mind. It's a mind game, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
And the mind game kind of worked out, because he was able to. Djem had to cancel the expansion, and he's getting expansion for himself. So it's okay. But still, Djem has his 2 Reavers. I think you saw him with the DT. And
oh yeah.
Might be.
Definitely.
Yeah, the goons are coming. Oh my God, Djem doesn't react. Now he reacts. He unloads.
Should be killed. Yes.
Yeah, kill the shuttle. Yeah, that's good, because actually 3 goons don't kill 2 Reavers, but they kill a shuttle.
Yeah, and the DT
now those Reavers. Oh yeah. Draw is going to be horribly cost efficient. Why would I waste a goon? I have a Dark Templar. Die, pesky. Reavers die,
But
yeah.
I gotta admit that if you hate when an invisible unit is killing your stuff, imagine if your stuff moves at the speed of a Reaver.
Yeah. And imagine if it's important like a Reaver in this state of the game. Because actually
Yeah.
this Reaver was crucial to Djem's chance of pushing down the ramp anytime soon.
I
He
mean,
lost
Djem can find a way to push down this ramp. He can, but
he will lose a lot in the process, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, Dawes focusing the Reaver here. And you can see that the arc is not
Oh, the
working in
army's
Djem's
bugging
favor.
out.
It's
Yeah,
horrible.
that's horrible.
This unit's bugging out in the main, and yeah, it doesn't get down even.
Alright. This is probably going to be it, because considering if they trade armies equally, then Draw wins by default, because he has 2 base and he can keep the trading constant.
Well, I mean, a lot can happen in PvP, but yeah, I guess you're right about it. Though Djem will not concede in this at this spot. He gets a lot of zealots here, though he doesn't have leg speed. Oh, he has it close to being done. Okay, makes a lot more sense. Well, we will see some desperation attack here.
I mean,
And
it's a 1 base 5 gate, right? So it is desperation.
yeah, I mean, he didn't have the expansion up too long. And he had a kind of bad eco when he did that, but nah, I don't see it being enough. What Djem is hoping is that his speed zealot advantage can carry him through this, but
And he's even around.
yeah, it's not going to work. It's not trying to expand in the meantime, so yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, he has to retreat here. Some zealots are chewing through some zealots of draws, but yeah, this is about it, I guess. More speed heals coming over, but draw is still enough units here.
I think
So
that Jim basically, I think that Draw understands PvP better. That's I think why.
and there's a Dark Templar.
Oh, got it. Oh, and he's and Draw's attacking his own Nexus, so
Yeah, it's kinda. Yeah, it's kinda the resignation sign. Okay, and there's a GG.
well, I would say congratulations to Mr. Draw for.
Congratulations are in order. And I will agree to you that he did play, that he at least showcased a deeper understanding of PvP in this finals. I'm not saying like Djem doesn't have it, but he showcased a better understanding of the matchup, yes.
Well, guys, so we're not gonna keep you waiting any longer to do other stuff that you might probably be thinking about. So because I think this is it for us, unless you have anything.
Yeah, we can mention real quick who won the third place match, because that might be interesting. Yeah. Let's see if I can get the information. Yeah, but otherwise, I think we won't keep you much longer. Okay, and I just hear that the third place match hasn't been played, so sorry, can't tell you how that went.
So that would be, I think, who was it? True Touch versus Zaraki, if I remember correctly, or?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it would be interesting as well, even though ZVZ tends to be very similar from game to game, but it's still interesting from time to time to see some ways that, especially when players come back from a deficit in ZVZ, is when the games are really interesting. Since it's so difficult, because it's generally so. It's not that it's a simple matchup, but it's simple of how to play it. What is difficult is to execute it correctly. So
yeah,
coming back from a deficit is very difficult in ZVZ.
Yeah, that's true. But well, let's not transgress too far. So third match is going to be played soon, I guess. We are not going to cover that on stream. And I think with that being said, thanks to you for casting with me. Thanks to our viewers for sticking with us. Thanks for the TL staff to give us this great opportunity to cast the event. It was a lot of fun for me, actually. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I hope you enjoyed it too.
Yeah, me too.
And do you have any final words?
No, not at all.
Okay. So let's just say goodbye.
Goodbye then, guys, and have